Hi there everyone, my name is Pritam and I welcome you all to this channel. In this video, we will be talking about how we can install Tiny 11. Tiny 11 is a stripped down version of Microsoft Windows 11 designed for old and lower end PC. Before we get started, let me provide you some of information about Tiny 11 which I would say is very important to know since you are installing a non-official version of Windows 11. So let's start with our first question. What is Tiny 11? So Tiny 11 is a project from NT-dev that allow you to install Windows 11 on an old and lower end PC. As you may know, Windows 11 have a very high system requirement. For example, it need at least 4 GB of RAM or 64 GB of storage space. It also requires some of hardware based security features, for example TPM and secure boot, and it also need a high-end CPU. For instance, in terms of clock rate, it requires at least 1 GHz, or in terms of cores, it need at least 2 cores with 64-bit compatibility, making it unsuitable for many older machines. And maybe your system may meet minimum system requirement, but there are so many functions, so many features available in Windows 11 that eventually will make the whole experience very sluggish and pathetic. Now let me try to answer another question which may arise, which is Tiny 11 is an official version of Windows 11? The straight answer is no. The Tiny 11 is not an official version of Windows 11. It is a custom version created by a developer named NTDev that we just spoke about. While it is designed to be lightweight and compatible with older hardware, it is not endorsed by Microsoft or supported by it. Now let's talk about system requirement that Tiny 11 need. To install Tiny 11, it requires only 2 GB of RAM compared to 4 GB in case of regular Windows 11. If I talk about the storage requirement, so this variant only requires 8 GB from 64 GB, which is again 8 times less than the regular Windows 11, making it much more lighter weight than full version of Windows. Additionally, it also do not require any hardware based TPM or secure boot, so that you can install it in any older device that do not meet the requirement of official version of Windows 11. Tiny 11 is actually based on Windows 11 Pro and has a minimalistic design, providing a comfortable computing experience without bloating and cluttering with lot of softwares that comes pre-installed with Microsoft Windows 11. The operating system requires only 8 GB of storage, as we already talked before, and only 2 GB of RAM. Now Tiny 11 seems interesting to you, and if you really want to install, then you can easily download it from Internet Archive. Let me quickly show you by simply searching Tiny 11 ISO or Windows 11 Tiny ISO download. Let me quickly open internet browser and show you how you can download Windows 11 Tiny ISO from internet. Okay, so here we are in our computer screen, and let me quickly paste this link, and I'm also going to provide you the same link so that you can download this Tiny 11 ISO. So let's click here on download, and here we go. We can see we have started our download. And meanwhile this Tiny 11 gets downloaded, we also need to download Balena Etcher, which is one of the simplest tools to create a bootable drive. So let's click here on Balena Etcher. And now here, since I'm using Windows 64-bit, so I'm gonna download this one. Now we are also downloading this Balena Etcher. Now let me quickly install it. And there we go, it is ready to create a bootable drive. Now let's wait for this ISO to get downloaded. Meanwhile, you can arrange pen drive of whom you want to create bootable drive. Okay, so here we can see we have successfully downloaded this Tiny 11 ISO image. Now let's click on open folder. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here on flash from file, and then I'm going to select the Tiny11B1. Now let me click here on continue, and then here I need to select my pen drive. So in this way guys, we can create a bootable drive. But in my case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install it in virtual machine, and I'm intentionally going to create a machine that I have only a RAM of 2 gigabyte and a storage of just 20 gigabyte. So this I am doing intentionally so that we can see whether it can work perfectly fine or not. Now let me click here OK, and let's start this virtual machine. Now here I'm going to click on I accept. Now click on next. And there we go. Despite there was warning that it need at least 52 gigabyte of space, here we can see we are still able to install this Tiny11. And there we go. We can see the Windows 11 welcome startup. From here we can select our country as usual. Then we need to click on yes. Then from here you can select your keyboard. Then if you want to add second keyboard layout, you can click here on add layout and can choose another one. In my case I don't want, so I can click on skip. Now here you need to enter your name, whoever going to use this PC. So let me write my name here, and then I need to type my password. Then again let's click next. Again we need to confirm the password. Click next. Here you need to provide some security question. So you may choose any one of this. And then you need to answer these security questions. Now after providing all these security questions, let's move forward to another step, which is choosing your privacy settings. So based on your need, you may change these settings. I'm gonna keep all these things as it is as default. Now let's wait for the final phase of installation to get completed. And there we go, we have successfully installed Tiny11. Now let me quickly make some modification like installing guest OS. Now we have finally installed this Tiny11 in this machine. Now in order to see specification of this machine, let me press Windows and Alt button, and let me go to device manager so that we can see what actually here exists. So here we can see we only have assigned 2 processor, and the amount of space as promised by Tiny11, it only going to occupy space under 10 gigabyte, which is again true here, and still my Windows is working perfectly fine. Let me show you one more thing, which is the amount of RAM installed. For that I'm gonna press Windows and R, and let me type ms info 32. Now here we will see how much RAM actually the system is working with. So here you can see we have only allocated 2 gigabyte of RAM here. So isn't it amazing guys? This system is only working in 2 gigabyte of RAM with a storage that Windows have occupied, that is less than 10 gigabyte, and with only 2 processor, and still the system is responsive enough. This is because of the reason, as we can see here in menu bar, there are only limited number of softwares and features installed. Congratulations, finally you have successfully installed Tiny11 in your old or lower end PC. In this video, we also saw how it compared with regular Windows 11 in terms of space, in terms of resources utilization. Please remember that this Tiny 11 is not officially supported by Windows, so it may not be as secure as standard Windows installation. And I recommend you only to install this Tiny 11 on outdated hardware or where you want to test or run latest version of Windows without any hiccups or any hardware requirement. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you find this video helpful, informational. If yes, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you have got any kind of questions or doubt in your mind, feel free to ask any questions in comment down below and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. Till then, you take care and bye bye.